Chapter 41, Food and Wine Pairing. You are listening at novelfull.audio. As night falls, there are also more mysteries in the secret realm, and the monsters that like to haunt at night have also become active. Moreover, the secret realm at night is more terrifying than during the day, and some powerful monsters like to walk in the darkness. You can hear the roar of an unknown beast coming from far away in the forest from time to time, startling countless birds for a while. The sound of flapping wings echoed throughout the area. Luo Yang found an open area. The Spirit Sword user patrols the surrounding environment to prevent monsters from appearing nearby. If he encounters monsters, he can increase his growth rate. When it comes to personal safety, the Spirit Sword user also cheered up. Xiao Ling, come and cut this meat. Luo Yang took out all the essence parts of some monster beasts that he had cut off before, prepared to have a picnic today, not only to satisfy the appetite, but also to attract some monsters. I am also preparing to help the Spirit Sword user break through to level 13 tonight. Not many people dare to make a fire in a secret place at night. Luo Yang took out a simple barbecue grill from his storage bag, assembled it briefly and started to light a fire. Firelight at night is the easiest thing to attract monsters, and monsters are very sensitive to these. The branches used are the most common ones from Blue Star, which have a low ignition point and a very slow burning speed. He took out a pair of bear paws, which were cut from the hands of the monster hooded bear during the day. They tasted very delicious when roasted. In addition, he also took out the rabbit legs of the Gale rabbit. Luo Yang is also planning to make spicy rabbit legs. Just thinking about it makes my mouth water. These are rare ingredients, made from high-grade monster meat, and the roasted meat will be even more fragrant. Luo Yang put the bear paws and rabbit legs on the flame and slowly turned them over. The bear paws and rabbit legs were both very big. Luo Yang also changed the flour knife to make them more flavorful. It only takes a while. The bear's paws were stained with a layer of golden oil, and the fragrance spread in the wind. The rabbit's legs were also sizzling with oil, and they looked delicious and delicious. I have to say that this bear paw is a rare delicacy and has a strong fragrance. Luo Yang saw that it was almost done, so he started to add the seasonings. The seasonings for the bear's paw were normal, while the rabbit legs were spicy and had layers of sauce on them. Soon, the fragrance became more intense, continuously spread towards the distance. Luo Yang took out a dagger and cut open the outer skin of the bear's paw, revealing the tender and smooth flesh like mutton fat jade inside, which looked even more attractive with a little oil. Cut off a piece of the fattest part and hand it to the Spirit Sword user. How about trying my craftsmanship? Luo Yang said with a smile. Luo Yang was not sure about having a barbecue for the first time. As long as it is made by the master, it will be delicious no matter what. The Spirit Sword user smiled sweetly. Her tone was sincere. Luo Yang's vanity was filled every time he came to her. Who wouldn't want to have such a fangirl? Luo Yang smiled. I would be proud to be praised like this by you every day. Ling Jian used chopsticks to hold the meat and blew on it. Put it in your mouth and bite lightly. The delicious aroma immediately made the Spirit Sword user's eyes light up. It melted in her mouth. The meat was soft and delicate, and left a lingering aroma in her mouth. This was definitely the most delicious thing she had ever eaten. The Spirit Sword user kept nodding. It's delicious, it's so delicious. Master, you should try it too. Eat a few more pieces if you like. Don't be full. There are spicy rabbit legs waiting for you. Luo Yang was in a good mood when he saw this. He also wanted to try his own skills. Luo Yang cut off other parts of the meat and placed them on the plate. Each person had one spicy rabbit leg, which was almost bigger than the plate. Luo Yang took it and nodded. It tastes spicy and delicious, and Luo Yang always feels that there is something missing. Then he took out a dusty wine jar from the storage bag. Luo Yang brewed it himself. How can such a good appetizer not be accompanied by fine wine? Open it and pour out a glass of wine. The color of the wine is very beautiful, like the lake water under the moonlight, with microwaves and waves of charming fragrance. Luo Yang drank all the wine in his glass. The wine was strong, and the alcohol flowed down his throat and throughout his body. Spicy in the mouth, Luo Yang felt a sense of warmth. However, Luo Yang was not intoxicated by this. He knows that one cannot be greedy, and taste is a process. Drinking requires not a moment of enjoyment, but a long time of savoring the beauty of the process. so Luo Yang is not in a hurry, savor the delicious food slowly. Luo Yang picked up the wine bottle on the table and filled it with wine, the spirit sword. User was also a little ready to move. Looking at the fragrance emanating from the Luo Yang cup, she seemed to be a little addicted. Master, I want to drink too. The spirit sword user's tone was pleading. Okay, I'll give you a drink. Luo Yang smiled and poured her a drink. Most people are not used to drinking this kind of strong liquor. Luo Yang estimated that she would spit it out as soon as she drank it. The spirit sword user carefully took a sip, and his face immediately turned red. Instead of spitting it out as Luo Yang imagined, he swallowed it with enjoyment. This wine is so delicious, it's worthy of being a strong drink. The spirit sword user couldn't help but take another big sip. After a while, I became a little drunk. Good wine. The spirit sword user looked at Luo Yang with somewhat blurred eyes. Shaoling, wine is good wine, but remember not to drink too much. Master, can I have one last drink? The spirit sword user licked the corner of his mouth and said with a longing look on his face. A girl is actually obsessed with drinking. Luo Yang smiled and poured another glass of wine. The spirit sword user then picked up the wine glass on the table and clinked the glass with Luo Yang. The two drank it all in one gulp. The spirit sword made his face become even redder. Good wine, so delicious. I like this feeling so much. The spirit sword user murmured, feeling that the spiritual power in her body was boiling under the influence of alcohol, as if her hidden attributes were unlocked. At the same time, there was a strange noise in the originally quiet forest. This is a group of monsters gathering here, their eyes full of ferocity. They seem to smell the smell of delicious food. Luo Yang and the spirit sword user sat beside the campfire, quietly waiting for their approach. Shaoling, wake up, the fun begins. Coming, that the spirit sword user said excitedly. She felt as if she had reached an unprecedented peak now. The spiritual power in her body was surging, and an unprecedented strong desire to fight filled her heart. Luo Yang also discovered her abnormality and was puzzled. Why do you get braver the more you drink? There is a huge gap between the momentum and the momentum without drinking. The spirit sword user jumped up suddenly, with the long sword in his hand. He stood proudly in the air, a sword slashed forward. The air crackled. Warm reminder, if you find that clicking the next page will force you to jump to other websites, please use the chapter error or contact us at the bottom to inform us. We will handle it as soon as possible. Thank you for your understanding. Chapter 42, Armored Giant Crocodile. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Suddenly, a huge black shadow fell from the sky. This is a tall giant crocodile, all black. Its body is covered with a thick layer of scales, every inch of which is like cast steel, and looks extremely hard. The head of the giant crocodile is about 3 times larger than that of an ordinary crocodile, and sharp fangs spit out of its huge mouth. This giant crocodile looks very scary, especially its eyes, which emit a cold gaze and stare at Luo Yang and the others. Roar! The giant crocodile opened its mouth and roared, and its huge tail swept across. A violent gust of wind blew out the campfire, the flames swayed, and a wooden stick next to the campfire was swept up into the air. Luo Yang hurriedly dodged. Boom! The flames burned, the giant crocodile shook its tail, and the flames fell. Sparks flew everywhere. Luo Yang checked the information of the monster. Name, Armored Giant Crocodile. Attribute, Gold. Level, LV17, Elite. Potential, LV39, Extraordinary. Racial skills, 1, Iron Tail, 312/500, Advanced. Evolution route, free. It turned out to be an armored giant crocodile. Luo Yang understood. Looking at the dark environment nearby, one after another dark pupils appeared under the moonlight. Many monsters were attracted by the firelight and fragrance. The bloodthirsty eyes stared at Luo Yang and his friends. They sensed the strange breath on Luo Yang and the spirit sword master, which should be from outsiders. In the dark environment, Luo Yang couldn't see how many monsters were around. He could only see the dark green pupils around him, staring at the two greedily. The spirit sword master was surrounded by monsters. Seeing this, he was not panicked at all. Holding the Qianyuan sword, he looked ready to meet the enemy at any time. A giant crocodile swooped down from the sky, smashed the rocks on the ground with one claw, and slapped down at the Spirit Sword Master. The Spirit Sword Master's Real flying sword flew out. The flying sword grew to 3 feet long, spinning in the air, forming a sharp golden sword energy, slashing at the giant crocodile. This attack contained terrifying golden spiritual power, which could ignore most defenses. The sharp golden sword energy and the giant crocodile's claws collided fiercely. The huge impact force made the two people step back a few steps. In this fight, the Spirit Sword Master had the upper hand, but the giant crocodile did not take any advantage. Its claws were directly cut off by the sharp golden sword energy, and its proud defense was completely vulnerable. Its huge body rolled on the ground for several times before it stabilized its body. Roar! The giant crocodile roared angrily, with pain and unwillingness, and rushed towards the Spirit Sword Master again. Iron Giant Tail. As the crocodile's tail behind him continued to grow, this attack seemed to be able to turn the tide. The attack power of the armored giant crocodile was very strong. The Spirit Sword user did not dare to neglect it and quickly waved his long sword to meet it. Bang! The sharp golden sword energy directly smashed it away. The speed of the Spirit Sword user was also extremely fast. The two intertwined and entangled, constantly colliding. Sparks flew, and the scales on the armored giant crocodile fell almost all over its body. The body was covered with sword marks, and the sharp golden power on the sword marks was frantically eroding its body. Crack! A crisp sound came. The armored giant crocodile was directly cut into 2 pieces. Blood spurted out and fell to the ground, dyeing the surrounding leaves red. Your pet beast Spirit Sword user killed the 17th level armored giant crocodile and gained 80 experience points. The current growth progress is 67%. Roar! The surrounding monsters smelled the smell of blood and seemed to sound the horn of attack. They all roared and ran towards this side. Luo Yang frowned. There were so many monsters. Luo Yang was still a little worried. Xiaoling, are you okay? Luo Yang asked with concern. Master, no problem, but there is no wine, so I feel uncomfortable. The Spirit Sword Master smiled bitterly. Good guy, in that case, take the wine. Luo Yang laughed loudly, and at the same time threw the wine jar in front of her. The Spirit Sword Master grabbed the wine jar, opened the seal, and gulped it into his mouth. The wine tasted very fragrant. As soon as the Spirit Sword Master drank it, he felt the spiritual power in his body surging, like a flood that broke through the dam, constantly surging and rushing. The effect was too overbearing. Master, I want to kill some more monsters. The Spirit Sword Master put down the wine jar, and his eyes flashed with excitement. Good wine and long sword are accompanied by blood. Well, go, remember not to be careless. I will protect myself. You just need to clear this place. Luo Yang reminded. Got it. The Spirit Sword Master turned into a stream of light and drilled into the group of monsters. Roar! The roar came out suddenly. A violent wave of air swept in all directions, shaking the ground slightly. Roar! Then, there was another roar. A monster rushed towards Luo Yang. Luo Yang's face was stern. He had already sensed the presence of these monsters. There were more than 10 of them. There were many high-level monsters among them. They were a little higher than the monsters encountered during the day, and there was even a level 18 undead dog among them. This dog was huge, about 2 meters long, with 2 pairs of black bone wings on its back. It was tall and burly, and exuded a cold aura. Once this dog showed its power, it would definitely cause great damage. Careful, Luo Yang reminded. Roar! The undead dog jumped up, spread its wings, and instantly transformed into a pair of huge bone wings, like sickles, emitting cold light. Call! The undead dog flapped its wings and rushed towards the Spirit Sword user in an instant. The speed was extremely fast, as if teleporting. At the same time, more and more monsters appear. Some of these monsters are black-skinned lizards, some are gray-skinned wolves, and some are green-skinned minotaurs. They have only one purpose. The Spirit Sword user is not afraid at all. The long sword began to harvest lives like the god of death, and the monsters were killed one after another. Roar! Suddenly, a deafening roar came from the distance. The sound shocked the eardrums, like a thunderbolt from the blue, making people feel suffocated. The spirit sword user looked up. I saw a huge giant ape walking out of the mountain forest in the distance, its eyes full of bloody ferocity. Its forehead was covered with sharp horns, and its body was thick and towering like a giant peak. The spirit sword user's face darkened. This giant ape had actually reached level 20. Level 20. It can be said that he is the overlord in the intermediate novice secret realm. The spirit sword user felt a little oppressed, but the stronger the opponent, the more her desire to win was stimulated. Finally something decent, that the spirit sword user licked his lips, a crazy look flashed in his eyes, and his desire to fight became stronger and stronger. The undead dog felt the powerful momentum in the distance and couldn't help but flinch. It recognized this giant ape, and had suffered a lot from it in the past. It was terrifyingly powerful and was the absolute king in this forest. Roar. The giant ape roared lowly. The huge fist was swung towards the spirit sword user. Chapter 43, King Kong Demon Ape. You are listening at NovelFull.audio. The huge fist was swung towards the spirit sword user. The power contained in this punch could easily destroy a mountain. The spirit sword user was not afraid at all and raised his sword to greet him. Clang. The two collided, making a harsh sound. The Qianyuan sword only left a shallow white mark on both arms, unable to penetrate the defense. Luo Yang quickly checked the giant ape's information: name, Vajra Demon Ape, attribute, gold, level, LV20, elite level, potential, LV49, extraordinary level, racial skills, 1, King Kong Crazy Demon Fist, 124/1000, handy, 2. King Kong Roar, 450/500, entering the house, evolution route, 9, boom. A violent aftermath spread to all directions. 2 deep ravines were plowed out of the ground, and all the surrounding trees were destroyed and tilted this way and that. Monster beasts fell to the ground one after another, wailing repeatedly, and some even had their bodies shattered. Luo Yang also took the opportunity to harvest some growth progress. Roar. The undead dog roared, its body turned into a black mist, and it also rushed towards the spirit sword user. The giant ape and the undead dog rushed towards the spirit sword user at the same time, and the atmosphere seemed extremely depressing, full of blood and danger. At this moment their goals are aligned. The spirit sword user tightened his grip on the sword in his hand and arched his body slightly, ready to deal with any situation. Boom! The giant ape's fist hit the spirit sword user with a violent aura, and the ground was shattered immediately. Deep cracks opened on the ground, as dense as a spider web, and pieces of gravel rolled into it. Boom! As soon as he stepped on it, the whole earth shook. The King Kong Demon Ape is indeed worthy of its reputation. The spirit sword user exclaimed, bowed slightly to avoid the giant ape's fist, then suddenly raised his leg and kicked the undead dog hard. Roar! That the undead dog roared angrily, opening its bloody mouth and biting the spirit sword user's leg. The spirit sword user was extremely fast and dodged directly. He pierced the belly of the undead dog with his backhand sword, and at the same time, the power of sharp gold spread. That the power of sharp gold directly chopped the undead dog into pieces. The fire of the undead dog's soul dissipated, and a piece of undead monster crystal core fell out of its abdomen, which was transformed into the spirit of the undead dog. Your pet spirit sword user kills the level 18 undead dog and gains 80 experience points. The current growth progress is 69%. The spirit sword user picked up the spirit and continued to kill the monster. When the giant ape saw the movements of the spirit sword user, he couldn't help but become furious. This is a naked provocation. The appearance of the Vajra Demon Ape looks like a layer of pitch-black magma has been poured into it. Its muscles are tangled, and its whole body exudes a tyrannical power. It stands there like a giant tower, intimidating people. The giant ape roared angrily and struck at the spirit sword user with his fist. Boom! The fist wind roared, the space vibrated, and the air was torn and twisted. Boom! The fist and the blade collided together, and the energy ripples generated by the explosion spread out, sending up smoke and dust all over the sky. The spirit sword user retreated quickly, but was still hit by the giant ape's fist. A sunken fist mark appeared on his chest, blood spurted out, and his face was pale, looking a little embarrassed. There is no way, the level difference between the two sides is 8 levels, so it is great to be able to do this. Luo Yang was not idle either. While the spirit sword user was fighting the Vajra demon ape, he observed the monsters entrenched around him. As long as they are killed, it can completely help the spirit sword user break through the level, so that he can have the capital to fight against the Vajra demon ape. Shaoling, first kill the monsters around you. Killing these monsters is enough for you to break through the level. At the critical moment, Luo Yang shouted. Don't worry, master, I know what to do. The spirit sword user responded. The attack speed was quickly accelerated. At the same time, he used his speed advantage to get rid of the pursuit of the Vajra demon ape. The spirit sword made him extremely flexible, extremely fast, and constantly moving to avoid the giant ape's attack. Although the Vajra demon ape is incomparable in physical form, it is huge in size and has always been weak in speed. It is unable to deal with the spirit sword user and is difficult to get close to. The spirit sword user used the gap in the distance to continuously kill the monsters. In just a few seconds, several level 17 monsters were killed. Your pet spirit sword user kills a level 17 giant ant and gains 80 experience points. The current growth progress is 72%. Your pet spirit sword user kills the level 18 bloodthirsty demon bat and gains 90 experience points. The current growth progress is 75%. The growth progress progressed by leaps and bounds. Not enough, still not enough. Luo Yang frowned and urged again. On the battlefield, a second means death, he must seize every opportunity. Roar. The Vajra demon ape saw all the monsters nearby being brutally attacked, roared angrily, rose into the air with its huge body, and slapped down the spirit sword user with both palms. The giant ape's palms were like steel whips, carrying terrifying strong winds, and a series of explosions erupted in the air. Seeing this power made Luo Yang's scalp numb. If he was photographed, he would probably turn into a meat pie in an instant. Luo Yang did not dare to stop where he was and kept changing his position to keep himself in a safe environment at all times. The spirit sword user turned to one side and avoided the giant ape's attack. Then he used his speed advantage to pull away immediately and chose not to fight with it. Being teased constantly, the King Kong demon ape was furious, and was as slippery as a loach, and could not be caught at all. Roar. It roared to the sky. The sound waves rolled, like a red sun, sweeping towards the spirit sword master. King Kong roared. His fists kept beating his chest, making muffled sounds one after another, like a heavy hammer hitting a drum, which sounded very scary. The fist of the giant ape contained terrifying power, which made people shudder. Bang! The spirit sword master waved his long sword and blocked the sound of the giant ape. As the spirit sword master killed crazily, this area was filled with blood and corpses. One by one, the monsters died under the long sword of the spirit sword master, and their bodies fell to the ground, and the blood gathered and merged into a river of blood. Finally, the growth progress has also reached 98%. As long as we kill the last demon beast, we can break through. The spirit sword master showed a happy expression. Then he looked at the last demon beast behind the King Kong demon ape, and a plan came to his mind. Then he rushed towards the giant ape. The King Kong demon ape saw the spirit sword master rushing towards him and sneered disdainfully. Boom! The giant ape punched the spirit sword master with a terrifying force, and the fist wind was so fierce that the space seemed to collapse. A layer of dark light permeated the giant ape's fist, and the black light made a crackling sound, and the secret space was faintly vibrating. It was the King Kong crazy fist. Chapter 44 Leaving the Secret Realm. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The spirit sword master was delighted when he saw this. How fast! He turned into a stream of light and rushed behind the King Kong demon ape, but at this moment, the giant ape's fist was already in front of him. The spirit sword master only had time to raise his sword to block it. Bang! The two attacks collided with each other, making a violent explosion. Sparks splashed, and the two retreated several meters. It just happened to rebound the spirit sword master to the area around the moon shadow cat. After the spirit sword master stabilized his body, he looked at the moon shadow cat who was staring at him. The moon shadow cat lives on the essence of the moon, and the night is its home. The Spirit Sword Master snorted coldly, without hesitation, the star-breaking sword chi slashed out and chopped towards the Moon Shadow Cat. Swish, a silver sword energy instantly appeared in front of the Moon Shadow Cat, so fast that the Moon Shadow Cat just reacted. Hiss, the Moon Shadow Cat screamed and retreated rapidly. Swish, the star-breaking sword chi cut through the Moon Shadow Cat's head, bringing up a bloody rain that fell on the ground. It added fresh blood to the land. At the same time, the growth progress was cleared, the aura of the Spirit Sword Master suddenly rose, and the momentum emanating from his body became more fierce, successfully broke through to level 13, and his strength was greatly improved. At the same time, the spiritual energy that was originally consumed was quickly restored, and the whole state returned to the peak. Feeling the power flowing continuously, the Spirit Sword Master was in a good mood, looking at the King Kong Demon Ape, and the fighting spirit in his body reached its peak at this moment. "Come on," he shouted lightly, holding the Qianyuan sword, and went directly to the King Kong Demon Ape. The speed was as fast as lightning. In the blink of an eye, he crossed a distance of 100 meters and appeared in front of the King Kong Demon Ape. "Awoo!" The giant ape roared, and pounced on the Spirit Sword Master with his teeth and claws. King Kong Crazy Fist. The King Kong Demon Ape swung his huge iron clamp-like palm and punched the Spirit Sword Master, and the air exploded. The shadow of the fist was like a mountain, with amazing pressure, and the surrounding space seemed to have become a vacuum zone. Boom boom. The two collided, and a powerful energy wave erupted, shaking the earth. Huge rocks were blown away, broken stones were scattered, and cracks covered the earth. Some beast masters who were unaware of the situation nearby hid in the cave and trembled. They thought that the overlords in the secret realm were fighting because of such a terrifying vibration. They were afraid that the fire would burn them. Puff. A figure flew backwards under the aftermath of the attack, spitting out a mouthful of thick black blood halfway, and fell heavily to the ground. It was the King Kong Demon Ape. A bowl-sized depression appeared on the chest and abdomen of the King Kong Demon Ape, and the flesh and blood were blurred. It was obviously injured by the move of the Spirit Sword Master. The King Kong Demon Ape trembled with pain, and the fierce light in his eyes became stronger after he stood up. He actually broke his own defense, damn it. The Sword Master became more and more courageous as the battle went on, exuding a strong killing intent, and the sword energy in the sky fell like snowflakes. Poochie poochie. The Sword Master's long sword was extremely sharp, and blood mist filled the air wherever it passed. Vajra Crazy Fist. The last move. This move is the most terrifying move in the Vajra Crazy Fist. It shields one's own pain and greatly improves combat ability. At the same time, it burns the blood in the body, which can be said to be a real killing move. Once hit, no matter how strong the opponent is, he will be crushed to pieces. After all, ape monsters are all famous power monsters, and the Vajra Demon Ape is the leader of the ape race. Vajra Crazy Fist is one of the unique skills of the Demon Ape clan. I saw the Vajra Demon Ape perform the Vajra Crazy Fist again regardless of his injuries. This time the fist shadow was more condensed, like the claws of Vajra, tearing the air and making a series of heart-pounding sounds. One punch. The mountains collapsed and the ground cracked. Then a terrifying strong wind blew past. The crazy Vajra Fist rushed towards the Spirit Sword Master with an unstoppable momentum. The Spirit Sword Master's eyes shrank, feeling the threat from the crazy Vajra Fist. He took the long sword back into his hand, his eyes calm as water. The spiritual power in his body was running wildly, and circles of ripples were rippling around his body. The sword energy was crisscrossed. Heaven-cutting sword drawing technique, that the Spirit Sword Master shouted, and the vitality in his body was running to the extreme, and his wrist turned. Buzz, that the long sword made a crisp sound. A silver-white sword light cut through the void. The surrounding air was cut apart, making a hissing sound. This sword contained destructive power. Crack, that the sword light and the crazy Vajra Fist collided with each other. When the two met, a dazzling metallic luster suddenly burst out, which was particularly bright in the dark night, illuminating the entire space. The long sword slashed on the Vajra Demon Ape. Swish, that the body of the Vajra Demon Ape was split in half, but the King Kong Demon Ape still stood up, but his eyes were wide open, full of resentment and anger, and his body was swaying, as if he would fall to the ground and die in the next second. The corners of the Spirit Sword Master's mouth slightly raised, and a faint smile appeared on his face. Success! This attack killed the King Kong Demon Ape instantly. Your pet beast Spirit Sword Master killed the 20th level King Kong Demon Ape and gained 180 experience points. The current growth progress is 50%. But it also drained the spiritual power in his body, and his face became much paler. Luo Yang saw that the battlefield had returned to tranquility. He took out a fruit that restored spiritual power from the storage bag and handed it to the Spirit Sword Master. Then Luo Yang began to clean up the battlefield. The most valuable thing here should be the demon core of the King Kong Demon Ape. Luo Yang dug it out and put it in the storage bag, and then began to collect materials from it. All the demon cores on the scene were looted. Anything valuable could not escape Luo Yang's palm. Wait until everything is settled. Luo Yang smelled the bloody smell in the air and frowned. There were corpses of monsters everywhere nearby, like a mass grave, and the blood had long since seeped into the land. It is impossible to stay here. The blood is soaring to the sky, plus the flesh and blood of monsters, which is also a fatal temptation to monsters. It may even cause a small beast tide. Luo Yang looked at the time. Let's go. We should go back. This trip to the secret realm is quite successful. After saying that, he activated the metal, and the Spirit Sword Master turned into a meteor and drilled into the beast control space. As the light of transmission flashed, Luo Yang has been teleported back. The passage of time in the secret realm is the same as outside. After leaving the secret realm management office, Luo Yang took a taxi and went straight home. Luo Yang breathed a sigh of relief when he got home. His tense nerves finally relaxed. Wu Lao came out to see him and then went back to the room to chat with his pet. He could see that Luo Yang had gained a lot from this trip to the secret realm, and his pet had even been upgraded by 1 level. The next day, Luo Yang came to school early in the morning. Lu Rushuang told him that the principal was looking for him. Luo Yang guessed that it should be the special reward that the principal mentioned. I wonder if it has something to do with his second pet. Somewhat looking forward to it. Chapter 45, Ancient Civilizations. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Luo Yang went straight to the principal's office, knocked on the door. When he entered, he saw the principal leaning on a chair, with a tea set in front of him, and he looked like he was making tea. Boy, that's good. In just 2 days, your level has reached level 14. It seems that you are not only talented, but also diligent and perseverant. Sit here. Principal Yang pointed to the seat next to him. You can see that his expression is full of approval. Any school will treat this kind of students as treasures, and it can be said that they are difficult to find even with a lantern. He felt more and more that his decision was right. Luo Yang was not polite and sat down directly. Last night, after returning to the beast control space, the Spirit Sword user successfully improved by 1 level with the help of experience candy. The result was easily seen by Principal Yang. Then Principal Yang started making tea for Luo Yang. Try it, the fine ancient tea should be helpful to your cultivation. After hearing this, Luo Yang picked up the tea cup and tasted it carefully. He felt that the fragrance was fragrant and the aftertaste was endless. The tea soup was clear and green, and left a fragrant taste in his mouth. Good tea. Luo Yang admired sincerely, his eyes full of surprise. What a top-quality tea. It tastes better than any tea I have ever drunk. Not only that, it also contains a trace of spiritual energy. I feel that the spiritual energy in my body has increased a lot. This is definitely the best of the best. Ha ha ha. Hearing Luo Yang's praise of his tea skills, Principal Yang smiled heartily. You really did not disappoint me. Then, Principal Yang continued, this is grown on a 1,000-year-old tea tree. I am reluctant to drink it on weekdays. But today I am happy and specially brewed it to entertain you. Principal Yang, you are too flattering. You don't have to meet me. Since you are now a student in our school, and I am also your elder, you can just call me Uncle Yang. Uncle Yang. Luo Yang shouted obediently. Good boy. It's time to get down to business now. I promised you the mysterious reward, and I keep my word. I will take you to a lost civilization. There, genius is just the threshold to enter. The better your performance, the better the reward you will get. What? It's actually a lost civilization. Luo Yang had also heard about this, and this reward seemed a bit heavy. Let's go, let's set off now, and I'll explain it to you slowly on the way. After Principal Yang finished speaking, he waved his hand. Immediately afterwards, the surrounding scene actually kept changing, and he actually went from the original office to the wilderness. What method is this? Luo Yang was shocked in his heart. Even a king-level expert couldn't do this, right? To be able to span such a distance, as if he noticed Luo Yang's curiosity, Principal Yang smiled. Don't be surprised. This is my pet beast with space attributes. It is a phantom beast and has powerful space shuttle capabilities. It is it that brought you to this wilderness this time. Huan Kong Beast. This name is kind of cool. Huh, it's just a name, don't worry about it. Principal Yang was a little embarrassed after hearing what Luo Yang said. You can't say that the phantom sky beast is ugly. Then why didn't you see it? Ahem, mainly because I'm not afraid of scaring you, I'll let it hide in the cracks of space. Luo Yang smiled bitterly. He probably had a name that sounded handsome, but his appearance might be a bit hard to describe. It's probably hard to forget after just one glance. No wonder it's rare to hear that Principal Yang has a pet beast with spatial attributes. It's probably because it looks too scary, so it's not exposed. Then where are we now? Luo Yang looked at the endless wilderness around him and didn't know which corner he had teleported to. The endless wasteland 700 kilometers outside Ungshi. There are no humans here, and it is still some distance from the destination. Principal Yang's expression was calm, as if traveling more than 700 kilometers in the blink of an eye was a trivial matter. That's it. Let's get there quickly. We're a little motion sick. Luo Yang nodded. Principal Yang on the side had a strange expression. You're so calm, kid. Do you know how rare it is to have a spatial beast, let alone one that can span long distances? Can't you give me some reaction? Even a little bit will do. Principal Yang became more and more excited as he talked, and his face turned red. Wow, Principal, that's great. Luo Yang clapped his hands quickly. Go away, I'm so angry. Not gaining any admiration points from Luo Yang, he felt that he had failed as a principal. Let me tell you first, ours is a challenging type of ruins. It is divided into elite level, extraordinary level, and lord level. I originally wanted to wait until you reach level 20 before bringing you here, but now there are changes in the civilized monuments. Had to advance. A challenging cultural monument. Luo Yang was a little shocked. These related knowledge have been taught in the 9 years of animal control education. Civilized monuments are the legacy of ancient beast masters. They contain rich resources and are the efforts of the first generation of beast masters to protect future generations. Many beast masters even speculated that there was a more mysterious and majestic beast master civilization before the catastrophe of all races. It was also to deal with the backup left behind by the tribulation of 10,000 races. Since the tribulation of 10,000 races, the number of civilized monuments has gradually increased. But because of the space misalignment, the location of the civilizational monuments cannot be determined, but every time they appear, they cause quite a stir. According to the known ancient civilization sites, they are roughly divided into resource type, challenge type, talent type. The quotas for these sites are usually extremely precious. In order to ensure the stability of the space, there are strict requirements for the number of people entering each time. These quotas are basically monopolized by the powerful, and only a few flow into the hands of powerful beast masters. It can be seen that even reports about ancient civilization sites are rare outside, or even invisible. They are basically monopolized. Originally, this quota was jointly fought for by the 5 major high schools and was prepared for the most powerful genius. In an city, it is equivalent to giving it to the student ranked first in the friendly match. Originally, everyone thought that this quota was Shengguan Fu's, but Luo Yang, an outlier, happened to be added. No wonder Luo Yang felt that the rewards for this friendly match were a bit wrong. Although it was not much different from the past, Shengguan Fu, the favorite to win the championship this year, was there, so the problem lies here. This quota alone can offset all other rewards. I have to say, this reward is too hot. Don't think too much. I've always been fair. As the most outstanding student in number 5 middle school, this place should be yours. Principal Yang said with a carefree smile. No more talking, let's move on. 10 minutes later, they were already very far away from Ungshi. Here was an endless sea, with waves covering the sky and the sun, like a monster that would devour people. From time to time, sea beasts would raise their huge heads. Principal Yang took out an ancient jade, which emitted a wonderful energy that perfectly blended with this space. Ripples were created in the space. Some sea beasts sensed the fluctuations, thinking that a treasure had come out, and rushed towards it, but Principal Yang walked in the void, and the aura of the king in his body repelled all the sea beasts with ideas. K. Shurshui. Chapter 46, Sweeping All the Way. You are listening at NovelFull.audio. Immediately afterwards, a portal slowly opened. Luo Yang was a little distracted. Boy, why are you still standing there? Go in. Seemingly seeing that Luo Yang was moving too slowly, Principal Yang directly picked up Luo Yang and quickly rushed into the door. The moment after entering, the two of them were teleported to different locations. Principal Yang was directly teleported to the viewing area, and the smooth mirror condensed in the sky could check Luo Yang's situation at any time. You can see that there are many powerful kings around, all bringing the younger members of the clan here for the trial, and some elders are even starting to prepare for a rainy day, helping Junior find a partner. Everyone tried their best to sell Junior, and the scene looked very lively. This is also quite a way for the family to find strong allies. Luo Yang looked at the unfamiliar environment around him and felt a little nervous. The unknown is always the scariest. I should be inside a civilized monument now. I don't know what will happen next. Luo Yang secretly thought, and then began to observe the situation nearby. Sudden, a voice sounded in Luo Yang's mind. The challenger's strength is detected to be level 14 and automatically assigned to the elite challenge area. Challenger number 778, do you want to start the challenge? The game cannot be terminated after the challenge starts, unless the challenger dies and will be teleported. The spirit sword user heard the sound. He also came out and stood side by side with Luo Yang, his eyes full of fighting desire. Challenge accepted. Immediately afterwards, the scene in front of Luo Yang kept changing, and Luo Yang felt dizzy for a while. The final challenge scene turned into a green stone platform, which was very large and surrounded by tall trees and green grass. There is also a line of words written on it. Elite challenge scene is being generated. Challengers, please prepare for battle. After the voice fell, Luo Yang also closed his eyes and began to adjust his breath to prepare for the upcoming challenge, first level. As the voice fell, a monster beast entered the battlefield. Name, Fast Swimming Frog. Attribute, Water. Level, LV10, Elite Level. Potential, LV19, Elite Level. Racial Skills, 1, Water Gun, 124/500, first glimpse of the door. Quack! The fast-swimming frog screamed and spat out a jet of water from his mouth to attack the spirit sword user. Number of times that can be drawn, 2. Successfully extracted 13 proficiency points dropped from the fast-swimming frog. Holy crap! Virtual monsters can actually extract proficiency. Luo Yang seems to have discovered some bug. Although he doesn't know how many levels there are, if he can keep playing, his proficiency can be accumulated to a certain level. I also gained a lot of proficiency in the secret realm. Luo Yang, the spirit sword user, drew his sword. In a flash, he rushed to the fast-swimming frog, but the fast-swimming frog didn't react at all. Then he slashed out with a sword. The fast-swimming frog turned into spots of light and disappeared in the air. Pass. Second level, start. Within a breather, another monster jumped into it. Name, Muscle Rabbit. Attribute, Earth. Level, LV10, Elite Level. Potential, LV25, Extraordinary Level. Racial Skills, 1, Meteor Fist, 124/500, first glimpse of the door. This challenge is constantly increasing. I wonder what kind of monster will appear in the end. The spirit sword user was looking forward to it, and she found that she gained more from the battle. The muscle rabbit that appeared this time was covered in muscles, extremely tall, and filled with an explosive sense of power. One punch seemed to be able to break a boulder. Every move is filled with fierceness. He quickly waved his arms and attacked the spirit sword user. The combat rabbit's potential is much stronger than the fast-swimming frog in the first level, and the battle fluctuations are more intense. Shaolin, remember not to waste extra spiritual power, and try to kill the enemy with the least amount of spiritual power. Luo Yang reminded, he didn't know how many levels were waiting for them, so if he could kill him with one move, he shouldn't waste any extra spiritual energy. Maintaining the best condition at all times was the best. Receive. The spirit sword user instantly understood what Luo Yang meant. With the flash of sword light, the battle rabbit lost the motivation to move forward and dissipated on the stone platform. Pass. Level 3, start. The pace is very fast, and a new monster is formed in less than 10 seconds. It seems that the pace is so fast, the test should be the overall strength. As the third monster beast regenerated, it's a whirlwind bird. The spirit sword user stared closely, preparing to strike with thunder at the moment when the wind bird was generated, so that the opponent would not even have a chance to react. The spirit sword user still has full confidence in the power of his attack. At this time, there is a viewing area for civilized monuments. Current number of challengers, 156. This statistic is the total number of people challenging in the current period. Including 3 major levels, Luo Yang's personal information appeared on the light mirror in front of Principal Yang. Seeing Luo Yang's clearance speed, even the well-informed Principal Yang was a little shocked. Basically, one-hit kills. He has a good grasp of spiritual power and the details of combat, which is not like what an elite beast master can perform. Good boy, I am more and more optimistic about you. If I were not injured and my strength was not at its peak, I would really like to accept you as my apprentice. Principal Yang had a complicated expression. Passed. 4th level, start. Passed. 5th level, start. The spirit sword master swept all the way, and the spiritual power consumed was negligible, and he reached the 10th level at the speed of light. At the same time, a full-screen announcement was made in the viewing area. Elite Challenger 778, passed the 10th level in 3 minutes and 20 seconds. Principal Yang, who witnessed it with his own eyes, was stunned. Not only him, but other people in the viewing area were also shocked when they heard the announcement. It only took 3 minutes and 20 seconds to pass 10 levels. Even if the monster stood there for you to chop, it would take a lot of time, right? What kind of monster is this 3 minutes and 20 seconds? Where is the projection mirror where 778 is? I want to see what kind of genius he is. He has such strength. If it's a boy, I will introduce my granddaughter to him. If it's a girl, I will introduce my grandson to him. Don't be too outrageous. Aren't you disrupting the market? Stop talking. 778 is here. Others gathered around Principal Yang, ready to witness Luo Yang's performance. Principal Yang felt the eyes around him, and his expression was extremely proud, even a little complacent. I haven't felt this way for a long time. It turns out to be so wonderful. See? That's my student. Chapter 47 Golden Mammoth. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Principal Yang boasted to the onlookers who were all looking at him with admiring expressions. Sure enough, many people were extremely envious after hearing this, and even the principals of other schools had the intention of recruiting him. They were ready to recruit Luo Yang after he came out. My dear, congratulations, you have found a rough diamond, and this kid has great potential. But after the 10th level, the strength of the monster will change. The next battle will not be easy. I don't know how many levels he can break through. I am looking forward to it. After the 10th level, the difficulty coefficient will be greatly increased, and the potential and level of the generated monsters will be higher and higher. Look! Someone pointed to the screen. The 11th level has already appeared a monster with Lord-level potential, and its level is not lower than that of this kid's pet. On the screen, the Spirit Sword Master launched a fierce attack on a lizard that was as black as ink. The lizard was surrounded by black light and left several deep claw marks on the ground. Principal Yang was also shocked by the level and strength of the lizard. Wow, so strong. Name, Poisonous Tail Lizard. attribute, poison, dot, level, LV14, elite level, dot, potential, LV41, elite level, dot, racial skills, 1, crazy poisonous tail, 378/500, advanced. The speed of the poisonous tail lizard is very fast, and the naked eye can only see a flash of afterimage. Number of extractions, 4. Dot. Successfully extracted 30 points of proficiency dropped by the poisonous tail lizard. Only the 10th level has a Lord level bloodline, and the level is getting higher and higher. It will be a tough battle later. However, the movement of the poisonous tail lizard seemed to slow down several times in the eyes of the spirit sword user. It can easily capture its position, but in the hands of the spirit sword user, it was like paper, and was chopped away by a sword. Although the potential has been raised, it still can't get rid of the ending of being killed in one move. 10th level, passed. 11th level, passed. 12th level, passed. Current number of challengers in the Elite Challenge area, 5-3. More than 100 other people were eliminated. The remaining ones are the elite among the elites. Basically, they all have the strength to challenge higher levels. The level of the monsters here is generated according to the level of the pets, and the monsters that each person faces are different. It also tests the comprehensive strength of the Beastmaster. Hiss. This kid is quite something. No monster can survive a move in his hands. This strength is a bit extraordinary. Many people beside the light mirror took a breath. He is so decisive at such a young age. He has a good training. As time goes on, several beams of light in the Elite Challenge area light up, indicating that someone has been eliminated in the Elite Challenge area. Then a man and a woman walked out from inside. What a coincidence, we came out at the same time. Yufeng said, I just got to level 15, which is a bit different from my psychological expectations. What about you? Tan, she looked disappointed. Oh, don't mention it. I'm the same as you. The monsters after level 15 are too strong. They are far ahead of us in terms of level and potential. Yufeng nodded in agreement. After level 15, the potential of the monsters has all reached the king level, and they have all activated the characteristics of pets. They are very powerful in all aspects. Even if my pets are used to the extreme, it is difficult to compete. Don't say it, I have to practice when I go back, increase the training plan, and don't come out until I'm extraordinary. The two came to the elders with disappointed expressions. I wanted to seek comfort, but when I looked up, I found that my elders actually ran to the projection mirror of challenger number 778 to watch. They even clapped and cheered from time to time. The expression seemed to be more excited than when they passed the level, and it was so exciting to watch. Uncle, if you don't want to watch my game, why are you here to watch other people's games? Yufeng was a little annoyed. After all, he was his own uncle. Instead of applauding his nephew's game, he watched others' games enthusiastically. Yufeng felt that he had lost all hope in life. This was a big blow. Didn't you get eliminated? I have nothing to do, so I just watched other children's games and summarized some experience. Xiaofeng, you are here, let's watch this child's game together and see how they fight. You can learn from them, which will also be helpful for you. Yufeng rolled his eyes helplessly, and cursed the child thousands of times in his heart, stealing my limelight. Why are you still standing there? Come on. Then Yufeng was grabbed by the elders and brought to the front, and the perspective could completely take in the whole picture. Although Yufeng was tough, he also knew his uncle's standards. Being recognized by his uncle showed that he still had something on him. Not only him, when Tanshi's father saw her coming out, he pushed her to the side by side with Yufeng before she could speak. Hey! Dad, what are you doing? I just came out. Can you wait until I rest before you talk? Tanshi said depressedly. Shut up, do you think I don't know what you think? Come and see this young man, he is handsome and very capable. You should ask him for advice in the future. After that, Tanshi's father ran to the front and clapped his hands at the screen. I also like this child's personality. If you can get along with him in the future, you can communicate more. Your father, will definitely agree with you. Tanshi. Isn't her father's mind jumping too fast? Without waiting for the two to say more. Everyone was attracted by the picture in the mirror. Luo Yang was now facing a golden mammoth with monarch-level blood. It was huge, 5 meters long, and its scales flashed with a cold metal-like light. Its trunk was like the thick trunk of a giant tree, and its thick tail swept across, shaking the ground. A pair of scarlet eyes revealed ferocity and tyranny. Name, Golden Mammoth. Attribute, Gold. Feature, Golden Armor. Level, LV-17. Elite. Potential, LV-63. Monarch. Racial skills, 1. Mammoth Giant Stomp, 488/500, enter the hall, 2. Fearless Charge, 127/500, enter the hall. So strong. We have all seen his strength. This kid has great potential. He has reached level 17 in such a short time. I wonder if he can break through level 20 and break the record of level 19. We have all seen that the boy's fighting talent is indeed very high, but his strength is only level 14. Facing such a behemoth, I am afraid. Roar. The golden mammoth pounced on him with its fangs and claws, and its huge body pressed the air so hard that it whimpered. Humph, that's all. The spirit sword master smiled contemptuously, then spread his arms and held the long sword in his hand. Boom. The huge foot stepped on the ground, causing a violent vibration. The spirit sword master narrowed his eyes and chopped at the golden mammoth with Qian Yuan in his hand. Bang. The golden mammoth swung its trunk vigorously and hit the spirit sword master fiercely. The two huge forces collided and made a loud noise. Chapter 48 Dark Dragon Breath. You are listening at NovelFull.audio. The spirit sword user did not move at all, but the golden mammoth was pushed back a long way, leaving a deep ravine on the ground. As expected of a golden mammoth, it is indeed powerful. The spirit sword user said. At this moment, the spirit sword user's eyes became sharper and firmer. This is the weakness of the golden mammoth. Its attack power is not strong enough, but its defense power is extremely high. But the spirit sword narrowed his eyes slightly. The next second, he turned around suddenly and his body turned into a meteor streaking across the sky. The long sword in his hand drew a strange arc halfway and slashed towards the waist of the golden mammoth. The golden mammoth was startled by this sudden turn of events. He quickly raised his trunk to block the sword, but he still couldn't avoid a piece of his waist being cut off and blood gushing out. Pfft! Roar! The golden mammoth roared in pain and threw its leg at the spirit sword user. Boom! The spirit sword caused the figure to retreat violently. One leg hit the ground, leaving a big crater. The golden mammoth body rushed towards the spirit sword user again. Golden armor. Number of draws available, 9. Successfully extracted 100 proficiency points dropped from the fast-swimming frog. But this time the golden mammoth is covered in golden armor, looking mighty and domineering. This is exactly the racial characteristic of the golden mammoth. With the blessing of the golden armor, the defense and attack power of the golden mammoth have reached unprecedented levels. Roar! The elephant trunk roared, then he launched a fearless charge and crashed into the spirit sword user again. Boom! The sword wielder's sword and the golden armor collided together, and the two huge collision forces exploded. The spirit sword user took a few steps back, while the golden mammoth stepped back more than 10 meters before steadying himself. However, the spirit sword user's attack only left a shallow mark on the golden armor and did not cause any damage to the golden armor. The golden mammoth became even more angry when he saw that he was actually repelled, continuously launch fierce attacks. The spirit sword user dodged again, and the golden mammoth's offensive became more rapid, pursuing again and again. The spirit sword user's face was also a little ugly, because he found that the fighting method of this golden mammoth was very simple and crude. He only knew how to act recklessly and had no technical skills at all. He fought solely with strength. The spirit sword user couldn't help but wonder whether his move would work. The golden mammoth attacks again. The spirit sword user did not dare to be careless and dodged again. Luo Yang looked around and found that although the golden mammoth was wrapped in armor, there was a special place without any defense. Little spirit, attack its cover. The defense there is the weakest, at the moment when he had just dodged the attack of the golden mammoth. Crack! That a crisp sound of bone cracking was heard, the golden mammoth paused, and his body froze in place. A tiny crack actually appeared on its butt, and then slowly spread, eventually turning into pieces of meat and falling to the ground. One sword. With just one sword strike, he killed the golden mammoth, leaving the audience stunned and filled with horror. Good. Well done. He is indeed a genius. His strength and insight are stronger than I imagined. Our young people in China are indeed very good, they are the rising stars of the younger generation. At this time, Luo Yang and the others had reached the 17th level. Then he continued to work hard to reach the 20th level. The spirit sword user's spiritual energy was also consumed a lot, so he quickly took advantage of the opportunity for the monsters to be generated to restore his spiritual energy. The subsequent battles became increasingly difficult. After all, the level of the spirit sword user is a flaw. Although they both have potential as monarchs, the gap between the two is still not very obvious. Luo Yang also felt the pressure and even started to sweat on his forehead. It's already the 20th level, you must hold on, there is still a great chance to break the record, so don't give up. The people watching the battle outside seemed more nervous than Luo Yang. After all, the potential of the little spirit can only reach the level of the monarch. If the potential levels are the same, then the competition will be the pet level and skill proficiency, level 20, open. As the sound falls, a huge monster is being generated. I saw that the monster beast exuded strong majesty. It is more than 6 meters tall, with golden scales all over its body, thick limbs, huge black wings growing on its back, every hair shining with metallic luster, a sharp horn on the top of its head, and its fangs glowing with coldness. The cold light, it just stood there, the temperature around it plummeting. All the audience looked at this monster beast, feeling the oppressive momentum, and their breathing became rapid. It was so scary, I almost couldn't breathe. What kind of monster is this? That everyone was frightened by this scene. Luo Yang actually encountered this terrifying monster in the 17th level. It is estimated that few people in the elite challenge area can compete with it. The spirit sword user couldn't help but look a little pale. He had never seen this kind of monster before. However, judging from the temperament in his body, he should belong to the Dark Clan, and his status is also very high among the Dark Clan. Upon seeing this, Luo Yang immediately checked the other party's information. Roar! Suddenly, the monster looked up to the sky and roared, and its body disappeared instantly. The spirit sword made his pupils shrink. This is the Black Dragon. Name, Black Dragon. Attribute, Fire. Features, Dark Dragon Breath. Level, LV20, Elite. Potential, LV68, Monarch. Racial skills, 1, Black Dragon Breath, 299/1000, Handy, 2. Immortal Dragon Claw, 113/1000, Handy, 3. Ride the Clouds and Mist, 512/1000, Handy. This breath is so strong. Luo Yang and the Spirit Sword Master looked solemn. The dragon race has already appeared in the 20th level of the monster beast. This kind of dragon race is a legendary existence. It is said that in ancient times, the dragon race was one of the most powerful races. Unfortunately, the dragon race is too rare, and after the catastrophe of all races, the dragon race was almost extinct. Roar. The black dragon roared again. A ball of hot flames spewed out of its mouth and shot towards the Spirit Sword Master. Speed. Prey. Both skills are activated at the same time. The Spirit Sword Master dodged with a flick of his body, and then used teleportation to dodge again, but the fireball exploded under her feet as if it could track her. Teleportation disappeared. The Spirit Sword Master appeared on the other side of the fireball, but this time the fireball did not stop, but exploded again, and a fireball shot straight at her. Bang! The fireball exploded. The Spirit Sword Master's face changed, and he was ready to use teleportation to escape again, but this time the speed of the fireball was unknown. The moment he appeared again, the Spirit Sword Master felt that the wind around him seemed to be twisted, and his body was burned with extreme pain. Not good, that the Spirit Sword Master screamed and dodged quickly. Roar! However, this time the fireball did not explode, but turned into a huge black fire dragon. opening its bloody mouth and biting at the Spirit Sword Master. The power of the fire dragon is extremely huge. Chapter 49, Crazy Point Edition. You are listening at NovelFull.audio. Even though Luo Yang was far away, he could feel the terrifying temperature inside. Xiaoling, be careful, that the face of the Spirit Sword Master darkened, and he quickly swung his long sword to cut the fire dragon. Dang! The sound of metal clashing rang out, and the fire dragon was blown away by the sword energy of the Spirit Sword Master, but the left arm of the Spirit Sword Master was also burned with a large wound, and blood kept flowing out. The Spirit Sword Master frowned, and the wound was slightly painful. What a domineering dragon breath! Luo Yang's face was also very ugly. The onlookers were heartbroken when they saw this scene, and basically no one believed that Luo Yang would pass the level. Even Principal Yang was like this. Luo Yang's current performance had far exceeded his inner expectations and even gave him a great surprise. Even if the challenge of the 20th level failed, it would not affect it. But speaking of it, the monster in this last level is really extraordinary. It is still the Black Dragon clan. Although it is only a young dragon in the growth period, it still stands at the top of the pyramid and looks down on everything. This is the power of the race. Even if it is just a young dragon, no one will underestimate it. This is also the first time that the Spirit Sword Master has been injured since his debut, which means that the opponent he encountered this time is very difficult. The most important thing is that the Black Dragon's skill proficiency is very high. The skill proficiency of the Spirit Sword Master is also a certain distance away from that of the opponent. It is obvious that he has become exhausted. Luo Yang hurriedly checked the remaining proficiency. After more than 10 levels of battles, Luo Yang's proficiency has reached a new high again. Looking at more than 6,000 proficiency points, Luo Yang was also relieved. Such a large amount of proficiency can completely increase the speed and the Broken Star Sword energy to the 4th stage. Other skills can also be upgraded by 1 level. Add a little more. Luo Yang did not hesitate. Now the field is changing rapidly. It is not suitable to hesitate for too long. The situation of the Spirit Sword Master is very dangerous. Luo Yang must race against time. Ding! The prompt sound sounded. The proficiency is cleared. Success! Luo Yang was happy. The Spirit Sword Master did not hesitate at all, feeling the surging spiritual power and sword energy in his body, and his mind was filled with these skills. At this time, a fierce and unparalleled aura emerged from the Spirit Sword Master. This aura was completely different from before, like a sword unsheathed, with its sharp edge exposed. Star-shattering sword energy. The Spirit Sword Master shouted in a low voice and held the Spirit Sword with both hands. Buzz buzz buzz. The sword body trembled violently, as if it was very excited, and made a series of low humming sounds. A violent and fierce aura also burst out from the Spirit Sword Master. The Spirit Sword Master narrowed his eyes slightly, and the Spirit Sword in his hand turned into a stream of light, leaving a residual image, and shot straight towards the Black Dragon. In front. Roar! The Black Dragon roared to the sky, and its huge tail swept out and hit the stream of light heavily. Bang! The stream of light suddenly dissipated, and a deep mark appeared on the Black Dragon's body. The dragon scales also looked at it. Roar! The Black Dragon roared, as if it felt that the majesty of the Dragon clan was offended, and its eyes emitted rolling dragon flames. Then its wings flapped, a strong wind swept in, a series of whirlwinds formed in the air, forming a huge vortex. Luo Yang was not able to hold on. The whole body was enveloped by the rotating whirlwind, and his body was sucked into it, falling down continuously. If Luo Yang's physical fitness had not been strengthened, he would have been smashed into a pulp. Damn black bug, I want you to die! The Spirit Sword Master screamed angrily. Dragon has reverse scales, and her reverse scale is Luo Yang. Anyone who hurts Luo Yang will be destroyed by her. The Spirit Sword Master's eyes turned red. Even if the opponent was the arrogant Dragon clan, high above, but he, the Spirit Sword Master, would also throw him into the abyss. A strong killing intent emanated from her body, and the terrifying killing intent caused the surrounding space to twist violently. It seemed to tear the Black Dragon in front of her to pieces. The sword intent in her body rushed out and madly poured into the Qianyuan sword, madly increasing the attack power of the Qianyuan sword. A sword was slashed out, the space seemed to be cut into a gap. Swish. The space cracked, forming a dark hole, as if it was going to swallow up the space. The black dragon's eyes widened, as if it felt the crisis. The figure flashed and disappeared in the air. This black dragon actually has the ability to teleport. Although the swordsmanship of the spirit swordsman is very powerful, the opponent is not stupid and will not take these attacks head-on, unless the opponent is imprisoned in place. But the spirit swordsman has no control skills at all. Seeing this, the spirit swordsman narrowed his eyes slightly. Is this the Dragon Clan? They don't even have the courage to fight head-on. They are really scum in the Dragon Clan. That her face became very disdainful, and she was deliberately trying to provoke the other party. Although these monsters were generated by ancient relics, most of them have restored the memories of these monsters, and they are not the kind of bodies without souls. Most of them retain the memories and habits of monsters. Sure enough, when the spirit sword master mocked him for not being worthy of being a member of the Dragon Clan, the figure of the black dragon suddenly appeared in front of the spirit sword master. His dragon claws grabbed the spirit sword master fiercely. The spirit sword master snorted coldly, and his body flashed slightly, avoiding the opponent's dragon claws. The black dragon's dragon claws missed directly, fell on the ground, and sank directly into the ground 2 meters. This scene made the black dragon even more angry. Damn it! Humans, how dare you insult our clan, go to hell! That the black dragon roared angrily, opened its huge dragon head, and spit out dragon flames. Dragon flames contain manic destructive power. If ordinary people are infected, they will definitely end up being shattered to pieces. There was a hint of disdain on the corner of the spirit sword user's mouth. She quickly dodged with her body skills and easily avoided Long Yan's attack. Humph. This attack and tickling are not enough. That the spirit sword user chuckled, and then she swung the spirit sword violently, and a terrifying sword energy rose into the sky, condensing into a giant sword blade in the air, and slashed directly on the dragon flame. Click. The dragon flame exploded immediately. After the skill breakthrough, the spirit sword user became significantly stronger, and the black dragon's dragon flames were no longer as big of a threat to the spirit sword user as they were at the beginning. Increased power. The power of this attack was several times greater than before. The black dragon appeared again. It looked at this scene in horror, with a solemn look in its eyes. Get out of my way! That a cold light flashed in the spirit sword master's eyes, and he slashed out with his sword again. This time, the attack power was several times greater, and the air emitted an ear-piercing scream. The black dragon's scales once again blocked this attack, but were directly torn apart by the power of the sword, and the scales fell off the dragon's body one after another, drenched with blood. Ouch! The black dragon screamed and retreated rapidly. Go to hell. Chapter 50 Extreme Counterattack. You are listening at NovelFull.audio. The spirit sword made his eyes extremely red and he chased after him madly. Whoosh! 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 After a few flashes, the spirit sword user had arrived in front of the black dragon. Her face became paler, but the long sword in her hand was still extremely sharp and she stabbed the black dragon. Roar! The black dragon roared angrily. The black flames all over his body shook, and the dragon scales exuded a dazzling light. Bang! The spirit sword user felt his sword tremble and was blocked back. What a strong defense! The strength of this black dragon has probably exceeded the extraordinary level. It is worthy of being the final level. The difficulty is doubled. That she was secretly frightened, but the offensive in her hands did not stop. Call out! Call out! A series of attacks hit the black dragon desperately, but failed to cause any damage to it. This can't go on like this. The spirit sword user frowned, thinking about a solution. An attack of this level cannot harm the opponent at all. Moreover, the dragon's physical body is superb, and its recovery ability is the best among monsters. The longer it takes, the worse it will be. At this time, the black dragon wanted to resolve the battle quickly. Dark dragon breath. I saw that the black dragon's whole body was wrapped in black flames, and it burst out violently. TSK. The flames instantly covered the entire space, incinerating the surrounding scenes. Even the ground burned, turning into ashes and turning into scorched earth. Damn, it's too hot. The spirit sword user gritted his teeth and struck out with the sword in his hand again. At this time, the black dragon suddenly disappeared. What? The spirit sword user was shocked. At that moment, it was as if the black dragon had never appeared. The spirit sword user looked up and saw a huge figure approaching at great speed on the horizon. The giant dragon was as black as ink, emitting a strong black light, as if it could swallow everything. Black dragon. The spirit sword made his expression change drastically. Broken star sword chi. She suddenly raised the Qianyuan sword in her hand and struck at the black dragon in the sky. Boom! The black dragon's head collided with the speed sword, making a violent explosion, and the space was violently distorted, as if it had been exploded. The spirit sword user's speed sword. The spirit sword user's expression changed dramatically. Boom! The black dragon's head collided with the speed sword, making a violent explosion, and the space was violently distorted, as if it had been exploded. The spirit sword user felt a numbness in his arm, and his whole body was shaken back a few steps. At this time, the black dragon swooped down, opened its mouth, and wrapped the spirit sword user in it. Puff! The spirit sword user spat out a large mouthful of blood, and his body continued to fall. The spirit sword user quickly adjusted his state and got out of it. Hateful, the spirit sword user gritted his teeth, but her level is too far apart from the other party. If they were fighting at the same level, the spirit sword user would have full confidence in cutting them down. Some kind of movement came from the spirit sword user. Huh! A breakthrough. Luo Yang was pleasantly surprised. The continuous high-intensity battle actually allowed the spirit sword user to break through. Sure enough, continuous high-intensity fighting has great benefits for pet beasts. Buzz! The spirit sword user's body lit up with bright sword light, and a huge mysterious sword appeared. Sword intention projection. Blow it up. This sword stabbed the black dragon's head hard. Boom! A terrifying power erupted, and energy fluctuations eroded the area. Bang! The black dragon's head collided with the spirit sword user. Crack! Crack! There was a sound of bones breaking. Several cracks appeared on the black dragon's head, and its scales had long since turned into fly ash. It seemed like it would collapse at any moment. Ah! The black dragon screamed in pain, his body twitching on the ground. Roar! It roared angrily and rushed towards the spirit sword user again. Dragon flame breath. Buzz buzz. Huge sword energy flew out one after another. The black dragon's body immediately suffered heavy damage. Scars began to appear on its skin, and blood flowed out. The situation of the scene changed in an instant. The spirit sword user once again took the initiative and suppressed the black dragon. The black dragon's eyes were filled with anger. It didn't expect that the crushing it had been doing would turn into today's situation. The spirit sword thrust out one sword after another, and each thrust would leave a wound on its body. Roar! The black dragon roared angrily, but the pain in its body made its movements slow and even clumsy. He actually lost. Still a defeat across so many levels. The spirit sword user smiled coldly and struck at its dragon claw again. Pft! The black dragon's claws were immediately cut off. Pft! Blood splattered everywhere. Ah! Damn humans! Listen to the last lullaby. The spirit sword user adjusted his breathing. The heaven-destroying sword technique. The spirit sword user swung his sword. The sword light was calm and did not cause any disturbance. Pft! The dragon's claw was immediately cut off. The black dragon screamed in pain, losing its balance and falling to the ground. Aha! The spirit sword user appeared next to the black dragon again, and with another sword, he directly cut the black dragon's neck open. Blood spilled everywhere, and the black dragon's huge body fell to the ground, no longer struggling. The spirit sword user looked at the corpse on the ground. This time, she finally breathed a sigh of relief. Call! It's finally over. Spectating area. This sudden victory stunned them. Elite Challenge Area, Challenger number 778, level 20, passed. Holy shit, I actually passed the level. Yufeng couldn't believe it. rubbing his eyes vigorously. He seemed to believe that there was something wrong with his eyes. There are many people who can reach level 15, but few can complete it in one go. This cultural monument has been preserved since its discovery to the present day. Only Luo Yang passed. Even in ancient times, only a handful of people could pass it. There were too many reversals in the last game. At the beginning, Black Dragon showed its invincibility. Everyone thought Luo Yang was going to fall here, but he actually won. Win the game by stepping on the dragon's head. This little brother is so awesome. She felt a little dizzy after watching the whole game. Her pretty face was slightly red, and her eyes were filled with strange colors. Luo Yang's actions broke Shi's cognition. For the first time, he felt that this man was so attractive. It doesn't matter if he looks handsome, the pet beasts he cultivates are all so powerful. This is simply the Prince Charming she has dreamed of. My student has passed the test. I am Chow. My student has passed the test. Who else is there? I asked who else is there. Principal Yang was so excited when he reacted that his dentures almost shook out. Haha, my student looks like a king. Ha, I have lived for so long, I have witnessed a miracle. And the audience cheered excitedly. Everyone was staring at the screen, extremely excited, in the challenge space. Congratulations to challenger number 778 for passing the elite level challenge test. Your strength is obvious to all. The rewards for passing the level will be distributed soon. Please don't walk away. The voice of the spirit of ancient ruin sounded in Luo Yang's mind. Luo Yang and the others were relieved. The two high-fived each other tacitly, and their combination seemed to have accomplished another feat. Xiaoling, you have done very well. In my eyes, you are the strongest pet beast. Luo Yang sighed sincerely, facing the dragon clan's momentum. He did not fall at a disadvantage, and even kept looking for opportunities to break through the defense. The spirit sword user was extremely happy to hear Luo Yang's praise. Walk with your head held high. Hee hee. Master, if you want to praise me more. Little Ling can bear it.